Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish Gaming. Welcome back to gaming news on Clownfish Gaming, and I've got some big news for you. If you've been following sales trends in 2023, you'll know that Hogwarts Legacy was reportedly the highest selling game in 2023 for all of 2023, and that's despite the backlash, despite the boycott that was a not caught, like it never actually happened, right? Well, now it's turning out that Baldur's Gate 3 made more than Hogwarts Legacy and Starfield combined on Steam. There's an asterisk there. On Steam in 2023, according to Games Radar. We're going to talk a little bit about this because I was a little surprised that Baldur's Gate wasn't higher up in the rankings on sales, because everybody's talking about Baldur's Gate. It was Game of the Year. It was a huge deal. And it just wasn't on every friggin' platform like Hogwarts Legacy. And of course, it is geared toward older gamers. But on Steam, it's doing very well. It's making lots of money, of course. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe to the channel for more gameplay and gaming news here on Clownfish Gaming. So this is coming from Games Radar. Steam's top 3 bestsellers of 2023 are Baldur's Gate, Hogwarts Legacy, and Starfield. Okay, but late last year, Steam released its Best of Steam 2023, which showed the platform's best performing games of the year in terms of gross revenue. Now, a couple of weeks into the new year, the Video Game Insights Global PC Market Report 2024 has been released, revealing exactly what games sold the best on the Valve storefront. Unsurprisingly, RPGs were the top, right? As you can see from Twitter user BySun's graphic below, following the top 3, Baldur's Gate at 657 million, Hogwarts Legacy at 341 million, and Starfield at 235 million. Steam sold a lot of copies of Resident Evil 4, not surprised. Sons of the Forest, not surprised. Armored Core 6, yes, 87 million. FC24, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, one of the few good games to come out during the Disney era. Lethal Company, $52 million in Lethal Company, and Cities Skylines 2. So here you can see the graphic. And this is really interesting stuff. Now, it's not surprising. That being said, most Baldur's Gate sales are probably going to be on Steam, and Hogwarts Legacy overall, I'm sure, sold more than Baldur's Gate just because it's on every freaking console, every platform, even Switch. But Baldur's Gate 3 outsold on Steam, again, asterisk, on Steam outsold Hogwarts Legacy and Starfield. Now, there's some discussion as to how Starfield is doing on Steam. A lot of players have kind of fallen off. It is a single-player RPG, of course, so it might not have a lot of replay value. A lot of modders have noped out. A lot of people not interested in it. I guess on Xbox it's doing pretty well because it's one of the few, like actual designed for Xbox games, I guess. It's not console exclusive, obviously, because you can play it on Steam, but you're not going to get it on PlayStation. So a lot of the Xbox fanboys are all about Starfield. I personally, from what I've seen of it, I have not played it. Squid King has played it. He said it's the best mid game he's ever played. He said it's definitely not the worst game he's ever played, but it's far from the best, and it's nowhere near what something like No Man's Sky is currently. But that's after 7 or 8 years of updates, right? One of the takeaways from this data is that Baldur's Gate 3 grossed 10 times more than Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Given the size of the Star Wars IP that Respawn's action game is based on, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, but the game's older too. It's been out for a while. It's important to remember that Larian's CRPG owes a greater chunk of its community to PC, whereas Jedi Survivor is a more console-centric title. That is true. That's actually very true. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. That's interesting that Baldur's Gate made more than Hogwarts Legacy and Starfield combined. Now, Hogwarts Legacy has not been slouching in sales. Of course, Hogwarts Legacy beat Modern Warfare 3 as the best-selling game of 2023. Now, what's really interesting, if you go out to the news cycle now, and you go out to gaming blogs, gaming websites, they're actually covering Hogwarts Legacy like it's just news. I'm not seeing a lot of hit pieces on Hogwarts Legacy. Even websites that swore they were not going to cover Hogwarts Legacy because they don't like J.K. Rowling a lot of them, with the exception of like The Gamer, they're covering Hogwarts Legacy just like it's any other game, because it literally is just every other game. Again, we had the opportunity to interview Troy Levitt, who was the lead dev on the game, and he said that J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with it, really. It was her licensing company that worked with Avalanche. And yeah, so interesting stuff, guys. Very interesting stuff. Now let's go out to Twitter and see what people are saying about this chart. Bison's chart here. Baldur's Gate 3 budget 100 million, Hogwarts budget 150, Starfield budget 200 million. Simple math cannot be used to determine numbers of units sold for Hogwarts, as it had price discounts numerous times for various Steam sale events and DLC. Same with Starfield, who had 3 discount periods for Steam sale events. Baldur's Gate 3 had 1 brief 10% discount period. That's probably true. I know that Hogwarts Legacy was on sale often because they were looking at, across all platforms, they were looking at number of units sold, so they could brag about the number of units sold. Kamatsu says, interesting to see how well Lethal Company did. Yeah, it is. Very interesting. A game made by one dev who also self-published it and made it into the top 10 revenue for 2023. Holy Toledo. So I think that actually says a lot. I think we're going to see more and more, as people get more and more disgusted with AAA titles and live service games, and like Ubisoft said that you're never going to actually own your games anymore, at least not the AAA titles. I think we're going to see more and more people gravitate toward indie titles. I mean, you ask a kid today what their favorite computer game is, and chances are pretty good it's something like Among Us or Lethal Company or Phasmophobia, or, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's at one point was independent. Minecraft at one point was independent, and those have become fan favorite games. Kids are all about those games, and they're not AAA titles. Most of the games that kids today who want gaming PCs, like that kid at Christmas, he got the PS5 instead of the gaming PC, they're going to play something like Among Us or Lethal Company on their $3,000 gaming PC. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want. I think it's because that's what they see on YouTube. They see YouTubers playing these indie titles. And, you know, I can't argue with that, because I actually get more enjoyment out of a lot of indie titles these days than I do out of the AAA stuff. Lethal Company, a game made by a single person making $52 million, is amazing. It is. It is. Baldur's Gate 3 becoming $1 billion game. Yeah, but how many people they have to pay to work on that? And a lot of the Hasbro people are no longer there, right? That's crazy. Let's see. Image credit. Baldur's Gate 3 superiority, this guy says. Lots of people just retweeting it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. I was kind of wondering why Baldur's Gate wasn't ranking higher in total unit sales in another list we did, but revenue-wise is doing very, very well, and deservedly so. The game is pretty amazing. So I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more gaming content and gaming news here on Clownfish. This has been Gaming News Under 10. We'll talk later.